Round 2 of the British National Mountain Bike Series, sport category, and to my right, Drew Denny's gets an absolute flyer of a start on the right, and then just to my left, it's Thomas, I think, as well, that gets a good start, and then out of nowhere, Michael comes through. Look at him in front, absolutely going for it, like he's sprinting for the line. I was like, here we go. That was absolutely pulled the pin from the start. And this course was a super climbing course at Margam Park. So straight off that start straight, we then go into this climb. And I can see Michael pushing on the pace. And I'm like, I've got to go round, jump on his wheel straight away. And me and Ryan, GS Mossa Ryan, were in the warm-up. We're warming up on this little straight here, and I said to him, you don't want to go to the front on this bit because someone's going to sit in, get a little bit of a benefit of drafting. What does this numpty do straight away? Once that red mist of the cycling race starts, I go straight to the front. And I'm not going to make excuses for today, but you know, when you go into a race and you just feel a bit flat and you're tired from the week and stuff like that, like excuses. But I just thought, if I go to the front, push on and see what I've got, see who goes with it, then I'll know how I'm feeling for the race. I just wanted to press on and make it hurt for me, make it hurt for everyone, and see if I could get the legs going. But as I got to the top here, I was hurting. I went out so hot. But as I'd gone out hot, it reduced the group massively. I think there was only 3 of us now, and just here on the left, I'm passed by, I think it's Sam Andrews who passes me on the left, yep, and he is a strong boy. This boy is a monster. So he gets on the flat here, this is into a headwind, and I thought, I might be able to recover in his wheel. No chance. He pressed on so much, I was like, I'm getting absolutely no recovery. Within 20 mile an hour, I was hanging on for dear life. And in a minute, I think he knows he's putting a big effort, and he looks over his shoulder and sees, and he must think to himself, oh, they're still here. Look there. I'm going to show this little maggot now and his little maggot legs what I'm capable of. And he ripped me to shreds here. Like, he absolutely pulled the pin up this steep bit of climb, and I just did not have the power to go with it. I was trying everything possible to go with it, and I'll be interested to know, I picked the left line up here every time. He's on the right hand side. Is that better? I'll be interested to know what the elite boys were doing, Cameron Mason, etc. Were they on the right? Were they on the left? I don't think it have made much difference. He just completely outclassed us up there with fitness, power, strength, and he pulled away. And look, my heart rate's just through the roof right now for me, and I couldn't do anything about it. But I did not give up there. So now obviously Sam's pulled away off the front, me, and on my wheel is Michael, and I was just like, you got to keep pressing on because you never know what's going to happen in a race. Am I able to close that gap down? I thought to myself, press on this descent as best I can, keep the pace high, keep going for it, because I have never raced against Sam before, who's currently in the lead, and I thought he's a good climber. Normally that means they can't descend, but I was wrong. He was just a really strong all-round rider, absolute beast. But I carried on pressing on this descent, and like I said, we had got a bit of a gap now. You can see, if you looked on the left just then, there was no one behind us. So it was Sam off the front, me in second, Michael in third place. And as we come down to the bottom of the descent and the river crossing, as we cross, you'll be able to see the gap Sam put into us just there. So he's not a million miles away. He's like still in touching distance, and I'm just thinking to myself, out of this bottom corner now, rip it, absolutely give it the berries to try and catch up. And I was giving it everything I had. Like I said, this was a brutal climbing course, and we didn't even do the full lap, but mistakes were starting to creep in already. Look at that, I've overshot the corner where I'm trying to press on so hard, and because of that is just wasted time where you're losing speed. And then Michael comes round and I'm like, right, I'm going to jump on his wheel here. And this is where it went horribly wrong for me on lap 1. I've jumped on his wheel. We've gone into this bit of single track, round this first corner, and then I have absolutely parked it. Boom! You can't park there, George. The front wheel just went from underneath me. I jumped back on to just get on with it straight away, realised my chain has dropped. Obviously, absolute faff. There I am trying to get my chain out because it's jammed, dropped my bike. By the time I'd faffed about with all of that, I've dropped back to about 7th place now. I skipped a lot of that because I was faffing about putting my chain on. And well, 6th now. And then to top it off, I got absolutely Max Verstappen here on the inside. Watch this move. You naughty little devil. Army Cycling's just chopped me up the inside. Fair play. I heard him behind me and I was just like, I'm getting back on. I need to get going. But coming down this descent, I was just thinking to myself, just try and get into this group and hopefully start picking riders off. But I was in a lot of discomfort right now. I massively hurt my knee, my back, my shoulder. I was like the Rocket saw that crash and she was like, that wasn't that bad. And it wasn't till the bottom of this descent where we hadn't been pedaling, I realised like my knee was in a lot of pain. When I started to try and pedal again now, I was like, oh my God, like it is uncomfortable. And to be honest, I thought right now I was going to have to pull the pin because I was trying to press where I'd obviously stopped pedaling for the descent. I think it had just seized up on me a little bit. So I was like trying to pedal and I was like, oh my God, my legs won't do anything. My knee is in so much discomfort. But I can see Dad on the right there and he was just like, come on, dig in, keep going. I was trying to say to him, I'm like, Dad, I'm crying, my knee hurts. And they were pulling away from me and there was nothing I could do. But I just thought to myself, keep pedaling, and hopefully it will ease. And it did ease when like the adrenaline kicked in again and I started moving it and it started to feel a little bit better. And then the chase was on. So from 7th place, Mr. Max Verstappen, who chopped me a minute ago, I've taken my first name and then straight past this rotor lad to move up into 5th place. Now, I knew it was going to be a big arse to get back to the group battling for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. You can see him at the top of the climb. It doesn't look like much, but where this climb was so steep and you're like looking at it yourself and you're like, I'm not actually that far behind, but the gap is way bigger than you think because I'm only doing like 5 mile an hour up here. But I was like, just press on, give it full send down the descents. And to be honest, I thought it would have got in my head, that crash, but it didn't. I was just like, it was one little lapse in concentration and the front wheel just went from me. But I was like, this is it now. The knee's starting to feel better. Chase on. And you can see the old man here. The good thing is he absolutely loves pit duty. Look at him. There he is. Loving it. Bottle at the ready. But he was shouting at me like 16-second gap. So you can see him around the corner. And every little bit, I was like, I think I can close that gap. So I was like, this is it now. If you're going to go full pony, it is on this lap. You've got to bridge back. Give it absolutely everything. And that is what I've done. The chase was on now. And there's something really exciting when you can just see that gap closing and closing. Look, you can see him just ahead there. It's not a very good camera angle because I was absolutely strug central up this climb. But you know when you can just tell the gap's closing, and I've really pushed on over the top of this climb and then into the descent. It was probably one of my fastest descent or second fastest descent of the day. You could see the Dominic who was in black and green just on the left there, and I was like, I'm going to make this. I'm going to get back on. And I did get back on here. Dominic had obviously got dropped. The rider in front of him is actually a back marker. So we're just going to go past now, and then you will see the gap to 2nd, 3rd and 4th. So we're all pretty much, it is just there. Top of this climb. So out of this corner, me and Dominic just both absolutely rip it. Full gas. Nothing more to give to shut this down. And we were back in the hunt. So after that, I lost a lot of time with that crash. And it makes you realise how quickly you can go from like being at the front to dropping back through a little lapse in concentration, the front wheel going, and there's nothing I could do about it. And just here, the pace started to ease. And I was like, thank God. So I move up to the side and I'm thinking, I might as well just keep pressing on. But it wasn't quite as easy as that. And I could see on my left just here, Dominic was about to attack again. And he was super strong on the climbs, flats. And when you get into a group like this, and we're sort of halfway through the race now, you start looking around thinking, who's strong, who's putting in the attacks? Dominic was putting in the attacks on the climbs, but I felt like me, Michael, and Jim were a little bit stronger on the descents. So every time he put a little bit of a gap in, really strong on the climbs, we were able to then close him back down on these descents. And it was like that for the next couple of laps. It was like attacks go, then it would shut down, then another attack would go. And it was just full on. I was honestly... Although the pain in my back, shoulder and knee from the crash, I was having time of my life. Look, he's gone again. He's out the saddle, absolutely ripping it. And to be honest, I couldn't go with them, but I was just relying on setting that like time trial pace on the front. And I think I was dragging the lads behind me back on each time as well, because normally I'm the wheel sucker. Those boys are wheel sucking though. But you can see here, this is the group of 4 of us. And when you're looking round, I was sort of coming into this and I was thinking, to be honest, Dominic is the strongest rider here. Look, we're all starting to look around now. I think this is coming into the last lap. And he puts in a thermonuclear attack. And I was like... if there's ever a time to suffer, make it hurt, it is on the last lap. And you know, when you can just see the wheel going in front of you, I was like, George, bury yourself. I was picturing the rocket on her bike in front of me and I was like, do not let that wheel go. And I managed to just about cling on. And you'll see here, I think he looks over his shoulder, or he did look over his shoulder a minute ago. And that was the point where it whittled the group down to 3 of us now. So Jim had dropped off, and yet again, Dominic was just pushing the pace on the climbs, and he was about to go thermonuclear again. Look, out the saddle, ripping it. This would have been a mega shot if someone was filming it from the side. 3 of us were duking it out right now up this climb. I've shifted over to the left, almost went in the shrubs because I was just more confident on that left-hand side. But just here, all 3 of us were elbow to elbow, bar to bar, trying to get up here as fast as we could. And you can see Michael's just come through and he's putting it in now. But I had a feeling this was everything he had. The fact that he had sat on for the last couple of laps, I knew that that was his max attack. And when we got over the top, if you're going to put an attack in, you have got to follow through with it over the top. And he didn't. He eased off the gas, which let me recover a little bit. And I was thinking, if there's ever a time to attack, it's when the 2 boys have just put their full berries into it. So just here, a little gap opens and your boy goes thermonuclear. Look at that. Go on, my son. I was absolutely full send right now. I was just like, make it hurt. Put them in a hole because they've just attacked up that climb. So that last little bit over the climb, when they weren't expecting it, I really pressed on and I absolutely pushed myself to the limits on the descents. And I can feel myself slowly improving every week on the downhills, which feels amazing. I know I crashed, but hopefully I can iron out these little mistakes. But I was pressing on and I was putting a gap in. So as we come through the water, we're just going to see over on the left, that was the gap I put in. And I just said to myself, now you've got to just bury yourself. Full gas. You're in 2nd place. 1st place was Sam Andrews. He run away with it. Really strong ride, but I carried on pushing on, and this felt like a victory for me coming back from that crash after, to be honest, I thought I was going to pull the plug. And to come back, pull them boys in and get back to 2nd place was absolutely mega. And this actually gave me the lead in the sports series, but I've now moved up to the expert category. I just kept pushing on. Super happy with this performance. Over the line in 2nd place, the order was Sam, me, Michael, Dominic, Thomas, and then Jim. What a race, absolutely brutal course, and duking it out with those boys, I absolutely loved it. Up that climb when we were shoulder to shoulder, bar to bar, was wicked. The best, well, the most painful time of my life, but so fun. And it's always more fun when you come out on top. But those boys made it a mega race. And I'm looking forward to stepping up to the expert category in the Southern XC race this weekend. Hopefully, I've got some good legs and keep it on 2 wheels. I hope you've enjoyed this little video, and I'll catch you in the next one.